Now, whether it's financial struggles, dealing with grief or health issues throughout our lifetime, most people will go through really challenging times.
And after his own near-death experience due to COVID, best-selling children's author and poet Michael Rosen has created a book to help us. Michael, it's a joy to have you with us this morning. We just mentioned there about your health. You caught COVID. It really hit you hard. How are you doing now?
I'm doing OK. I lost the sight in my left eye, most of it anyway, and the hearing in my left ear. I have to always say that carefully. I don't say the hearing in my eye, but I just remembered to say that properly. I get dizzy, and I've discovered in the last few months that I lost my memory of the period of about 18 months before I got ill. So it's very strange. So people tell me things like, there was a great big party for your book, Bear Hunt, for its 30th anniversary. Do you remember it, Mike? And I go, no, there was a cake and there were figures from the book on the cake. You remember it and you gave that speech? No. Yeah. So I keep meeting people who from that time. So that memory seems to be completely wiped out. Very strange.
And I'm sure that's something you've been working on ever since. What have you been doing to try and help that? Is it sort of day by day, small wins as you go?
Yes, that's right. I mean, there's no point in thinking that you can just immediately become better or something like that. So, yes, I do think exactly in those terms, small wins. Stretching, I do a lot of stretching, so I'll be pleased to have a go at doing that a bit later. And also taking pleasure in very small things. I mean, when I came out of hospital, my short-term memory was gone. You know, if I managed to get to the supermarket and remember that I had to get both cat food and eggs and came back with cat food and eggs and not just the cat food, I'd say, yes, result, I've managed it. And then I'd actually dwell on it. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I've learned how to do, is to dwell on very, very small achievements or pleasures, if you like, and just concentrate on them.
And what impact does that have when you take the time to be, you know, mindful and present and dwell on things? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. It's probably quite irritating for everybody around me, but, you know, that's the penalty they have to face. I have to pay. But, yes, it just gives you that space or moment away from the anxiety or away from looking inwards, if you like. There's a great tendency when you're weighed down with illness or post-illness or grief of some sort, obviously, to just be weighed down by it. And if you can take pleasures in these very small things, I mean, people who are gardeners and cooks and people who sew, they know these things, but some of us who may not do much of that, you have to find pleasure in these small things in order to relieve you from this kind of inward pain, the sort of grinding feeling that you have when you're dwelling on those things.
And it was that, so I was going to say, it was that thought process that made you want to write a book to help people. And it's fair to say so many people have been through incredibly challenging times in the last few years.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the spur to write the book was how I was coming out of COVID and post-COVID, if you like. One little phrase that came to me was owning your own frailty. It came to me when I was in rehab, because when I came out of the coma, I was in a coma for over 40 days and I couldn't stand up and I couldn't walk. And in the hospital, in the rehab hospital, wonderful St Pancras in London, I just got that sense I had to learn how to own it for myself. So I had to learn the fact that the physiotherapists and occupational therapists were helping me to help myself. So it wasn't just simply do this and then I'll get better, but you had to actually think it through, that you've got to help yourself, own your own frailty. I also learnt, by the way, that every time I stand up, I have to say, hands behind, nose over toes. There we are, little one from the physiotherapist there. Hands behind, nose over toes.
But you know what, just reading your book, Michael, there's some great advice and times of reflection for anybody else that might have been going through hard times or are going through hard times at the minute.
Yes, that's what I wanted to do. In the back of the book, I've got a little list there called Raisins to be Cheerful. That's because I love raisins, but I missed a gag there. It should have been Rosens to be cheerful, but never mind.
There we go.
Oh, dear, missed that one. But anyway, yes, I mean, stretching, it sounds, well, you know, on this programme. stretching is immensely important, particularly when you get a bit older. It's just to keep stretching. What I do is look at my cats, and whatever my cats are doing, I imitate them. So you know how cats, they stretch the top bit, and then about a few seconds later, they then stretch the back bit, as if the two are detached. They go, and then they go, like that. So
that's actually our move today on Strictly Fitness. You just
well,
described
yes,
it.
I've anticipated a bit. So clearly you've got a cat to do the fitness. Yes,
Cat and a cat.
Yes, exactly. Writing, I find writing obviously very, very important. And people think when they write, they've got to write in sentences and fill a page. There's another way of writing where you just write a phrase, and then when you've written the phrase, don't worry about filling the page. Just when another thought comes to you, write it down underneath it. And then when another thought comes to you, write it down underneath it. I call it unfolding. So, for example, when the doctors and nurses came to my bedside, they kept saying, Michael, you know, you were very poorly. And then they would go, and then a nurse would come and say, Michael, you were very poorly. I thought they meant that I'd had a bad cold. I didn't know that meant that I nearly died. But anyway, so when I got home, I just wrote down on a piece of paper, very poorly. And then I wasn't worried about putting it into a sentence. And then I put it down again. I wrote very poorly. And then I wrote under that, that's what they keep saying to me. Do you see? So that, and then if that idea finishes, doesn't matter, just turn over the page. Or if you're on a computer, just do insert page break and then go to the next one. And then you've just got these fragments. And sometimes that's how we think, in fragments. And then you can join them up. So you don't have to worry about making it a great big, you know, GCSE essay or anything.
And this unfolding has made you an internet sensation. 138 million views on YouTube.
Astonishing.
Yes, though there is a slight, how can I put it, not exactly a downside, but an interesting aspect of it. I do a little poem that has a kind of chorus to it. It's when we're eating hot potato at home. And it goes, I blow on the potato till it's cool, just cool, into the mouth, nice. Now, that little bit, nice, believe it or not, has become a meme. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. But anyway, and I get stopped in the street by people going, it's the meme guy. And then they quickly hold up their phones and go, say it. They don't even introduce themselves. They don't even say, are you Michael Rosen? They just go, say it, and stick a phone in my face. And so I stand on street corners and on buses going, nice. And then they go, I got it, I got it, I got it. And then they just go away. It's very strange. And
so
I've
surreal.
even become big in China, apparently.
Yes, so we read, yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's quite extraordinary. I nearly caused a riot in Chinatown here in London when people came running towards me and they said, it's nice, it's the nice guy. Do you know what we call you in China? And I said, no. They said, we call you nice grandpa.
There you go. But you're also a nice man across the world, making a huge difference to people's lives, Michael. It's a brilliant read and it's very helpful. Michael's book, Getting Better, is out now on paperback.
Thank you.
Always a joy to see. We look forward to those
Thanks,
stretches at the end of the
Michael.
show. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, thank you, Gethin. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.